Welcome to Bloom at the Yoga Garden, and thank you so much for joining me for your yoga practice today. So we're thinking about a heart-centered practice today, partly because I was in a lovely retreat and it was all about stories from the heart. So today we are going to be doing more or less a heart-centered practice, and I hope you'll enjoy it and feel uplifted at the end of it. So we're going to begin by lying back and down on our mats. So get yourselves nice and comfortable. Feel as if you're creating length between the crown of your head and the soles of your feet. Soften your shoulders away from your ears, your arms rotated so the backs of your hands are on the floor. Take the heel of your right foot to the right edge of your mat, the heel of your left foot to the left edge of the mat. And just take a nice long, slow, luxurious inhale. Brief pause, open your mouth wide and sigh it out. And just let something go. Just return to your natural breath. We're not trying to change it in any way, we're just noticing it, observing it, being aware of it. In and out. Nice and calm. And just allowing yourself to surrender onto your mat, getting yourself into the right place, the right frame of mind for your practice this morning. Or whenever you happen to be doing this practice. And just notice how nice it is to be resting here, excuse me, with your body in contact with the earth. Feel connected to the earth. Feel really grounded here on your mat. And yet at the same time, we're connected to the atmosphere above us. So resting here in this wonderful place between heaven and earth. So now just bring your awareness to your heart center. If you would like to, you can place your hands over your heart center. And maybe you'll feel that nice rhythm of your heart as it pulsates within your body. This wonderful energy that is sending blood and vital nutrients all around our body. Such a little movement that does so much. And of course, enabled by our breath that helps, aids the heart in sending that vital prana, that life force, all around our bodies, keeping us strong, giving us energy, making us able to move and live our lives, and yet we pay so little attention to it. So just begin to notice your breath. And just notice if you feel the pulse of your heart in other parts of your body, or the pulse of your body. Maybe you notice a little tiny gentle throb somewhere else, maybe not. So now gently release your hands. And we're almost ready to begin the physical aspect of our practice today. So as always, listen to your own body. Don't do anything that you know doesn't suit you. Leave it out, take a rest, use a prop. So you're here to enjoy yourself, to practice the art of looking after your own body, but not hurting it or doing it in any harm. So when you're ready, begin to take your arms up and back behind you. Have a stretch and just have a wriggle about. Just have a stretch in whatever way your body feels it wants to. I'm feeling I need to wriggle from side to side here today, so maybe stretch into one side more than the other and then do the other side again. And for me today, that just feels so good. And then gently bring your arms down by your sides and relax your feet. So we're going to take our right hand across towards the left hand, or towards the left hip, maybe is a better place to put it, and look down at your right thumb. And then we're just going to imagine that this is the hand of a clock, and we're going to just do a big circle right across the front of your body, up behind your head, right out towards the right side, and the whole way back down again towards your left thumb. So we'll do one more of those that direction. So just be aware of the movement in your shoulder. Try and keep your right shoulder fairly well glued to the floor if you can, so that you're getting that full movement. So when you get back towards your left thumb now, change direction and start sweeping towards the right. And again, bring your hand up towards the back and right round. So your right shoulder will probably lift a bit, but so two of those. And I just realised I'm wiping my microphone every time I do that. So now we'll do the other side. So take your left hand over towards your right thumb this time. And again, follow your left thumb. Bring it right up behind. Maybe your head will follow it a little bit too. Just depends on how you're feeling. If you feel anything in your neck. Ooh, that side feels completely different for me. And then change direction when you've done two that way. So we're not really like a clock, but. And just keep breathing as you do it. And then when you finish that, bring your knees up nice and close into your chest. Give them a wee squeeze and a wee rock from side to side. And then we're going to straighten the left leg out along the floor and encourage the right knee up towards the right shoulder. And just notice how that right hip feels, that right hip joint. And then we're going to just do, we're going to take our right hand down the inside of our right leg. See if you can hold on to your shin, your heel, the outside edge of your foot. And maybe plant your left foot on the floor, bend your left leg to begin with, and then begin to take the sole of the right foot up towards the ceiling. So half happy baby. So we're encouraging the right knee down towards the outside of the right shoulder. And you want a nice straight line, or as straight a line as possible, between the knee and the ankle. So we're not sort of keeping our lower leg tucked in. We're having our foot as parallel to the ceiling as we can, and the knee and ankle in line, and your knees out wide. And then if that feels okay, maybe you'll straighten the left leg out. You can let it hover, or you can plant the heel on the floor. And that immediately increases how that feels. So you can bring your left hand up and give the right hamstring a wee rub if you need to, and it'll actually help to keep it maybe in place a bit more for you. So keep pressing into the right foot, the right hand, and then nice and gently bend the right heel in towards your bottom, and then straighten it out along the floor. And then we're going to bring the left knee in and do exactly the same thing. So we're going to just give it a wee squeeze to begin with, encourage it up towards the left shoulder. And then if you want to plant the right foot again, take your left hand down. See if you can hold on to the shin. You're anywhere at all you can reach, actually. And the same thing again, taking the left knee down towards the left shoulder. Give the left hamstring a wee rub. So again, knee and ankle in line, sole of the foot parallel to the ceiling if possible. Toes coming down towards your face. And then if you want to work a bit harder, either hover the right leg, stretching into the right heel, and maybe bring it down to the floor. But keep that right knee bent if this is enough for you. So always practice at your own level. And again, I feel quite tight up this left side today for some reason. One more breath here. And then gently bring the left heel down, bring the right leg in to join it, and then this time we're going to do both. So we're going to do full happy baby. So take your hands down the inside of both legs and take hold of your heels, your shins, or anywhere at all you can reach. And we're going to bring both feet up towards the ceiling. So take your knees as wide apart as you can, lower legs, or ankles and heels in line. Ankles and heels in line, no, they would be. Ankles and knees in line. And press, feel as if you're taking your sacrum down towards the end of your mat. So you're working hard on the inside, taking your sacrum down towards the end of the mat. Relax your shoulders. Your shoulders will probably get quite tense when you're doing this. Give your big toes a wee wriggle about. Help. Maybe we rock from side to side if you want to, but don't collapse over to one side or the other. Bring yourself back to center. Gently bring both knees in, cross your feet at the ankles, and then reach down and take hold of the tops of your feet, just about your toes, and bring your heels in toward your bottom and give the fronts of your feet a wee stretch. So feel as if you're trying to take the toes in towards your bottom. So you're really giving the fronts of your feet a really good stretch. And again, soften your shoulders away. Don't let your shoulders get tight when you're doing this or get stiff. And again, maybe we rock from side to side or back and forwards. Just the tiniest wee rock, but you'll probably feeling it, if you have tight ankles again, you're probably feeling that quite strongly. And then gently release your feet and plant them down on the floor. Well done. And then from here, we're going to take our right foot and bring it across the left thigh and gently encourage that right thigh away. So you're working quite strongly into the sole of the right foot. And see how that feels. So check that both hip points are still facing up towards the ceiling. And then if you want to, you can take your hands in at the back of your left thigh. Use your right elbow to keep encouraging that right thigh away. And maybe bring the left knee in a wee bit closer to your chest. And you should feel this up the right hip or in the right thigh. So just go as far as feels okay for you. One more breath here. And then gently lower the left foot down, release it, and release your right foot, and we'll go to the other side. So bring your left foot across, and this side again could be different. Check that you're not tipping over to make it look better. And again, gently encourage your left thigh to move away, but keeping 2 points pointing up towards the ceiling, working strongly into the sole of the left foot. And that'll help protect your knee if your knees are sore. And this side could be different, but see how it feels, and maybe you'll reach down, bring your hands in behind your right thigh, and again encourage the left thigh away. Ooh, and I feel that this side. It's funny how some days you feel things completely differently. And gently, if you want to, begin to bring the right thigh in towards your chest. And keep breathing, of course. So this one feels really tight for me. One more breath here. And then plant the right foot down. Gently release the left foot. And then give your knees maybe rock from side to side if you feel you need to. And then roll over onto the right side of your body. Press into your left hand and bring yourself up and meet me in tabletop. Is everybody okay? Still with me? So your knees are below your hips, your wrists are below your shoulders, and you're actively pressing the floor away. So navel back towards your spine. You don't want to be sitting here like this, sort of collapsed down. So lift your navel. If I could be here like this, but this isn't tabletop. So I need to lift my navel up so that more or less, the same as you would do in plank, really lift your front body up towards the back body and actively pressing the floor away. Index fingers going towards the front edge of the mat, and you're pressing strongly into the base of the index finger and thumb. So there is no pressure on your wrists. People complain about sore wrists and down dog and all sorts of things, but I know from my own experience that that is poor technique. And until I was able to really press into the pads of all the fingers, my wrists would have got sore. So already maybe you're thinking, oh, we're stood here long enough. But go with it, stick with it for another minute or two. And then we're going to take a big inhale, drop your belly down towards the floor, bring your heart center through, and lift your bottom up towards the ceiling. And exhale, tuck your tail under, navel back towards your spine, press the floor away, chin to chest. Inhale, bring yourself through, look up, lift your heart up. Exhale, tuck your tail. One more. Inhale, belly to the floor, press the floor away. Exhale, tuck your tail, round your spine. And then bring yourself back to your neutral tabletop. So we're going to keep our knees and our hips exactly where they are. They're not going to move at all, but we're going to begin to walk our hands forward, and we're going to melt our heart down towards the floor. So the wider apart you take your hands, the easier it'll be in your shoulders. And equally, you could use a brick for your chest or for your forehead. So we're trying to melt your heart down towards the floor. I can't really talk like this. So it's called melting heart pose in yin yoga. So we're trying to melt our heart down, but at the same time we're lifting your sit bones up towards the ceiling. And it's quite strong on your shoulders. So any shoulder issues, don't stay in it too long. Take your hands a lot wider. And breathe. Feel your breathing into that heart space. So of course this is a bit of a back bend. And then from here, plant your elbows, straighten out your legs, bring yourself forward, and we're in Sphinx pose. So elbows below your shoulders, forearms parallel to each other and to the edges of the mat. So tuck your shoulders or tuck your elbows in a bit more. Lovely. And look forward. So lift the front ribs up towards the back ribs, press into the tops of your feet, and lift your heart up. Feel you're lifting your heart up. And if you lift your heart up, that should stop you getting any pinching or anything in the lower back. So keep working into your feet, lift your heart up, crown of your head up towards the ceiling, and smile. Feel strong. Now press into your elbows. This is a strong pose. It isn't one where you can just sit and relax in. Inhale, lift up. One more big breath here. Really go for it. Lift your heart up as much as you can. And then from here, gently lower yourself down. Bring your forehead down onto the floor. Move your hands back so the middle fingers are in line with the tops of the shoulders. Press, keep your elbows in, shoulders away from your ears. Press into the tops of your feet, your pubic bone and your tummy. And then inhale, baby cobra. Elbows in. And exhale down. Inhale again. Feel you're lifting your heart rather than anything else. And exhale down. Last one. Inhale up. Heart lifting. Smile. Lift a little more. Press into the tops of your feet. And gently relax. And bring one cheek down onto the floor. Arms down either side of your body. Big toes to touch. And just give your hips a wee rock from side to side. And just enjoy any sensations arising in your body. One more nice, long, slow, deep inhale here. And a nice, long exhale. And then bring your hands back either side of your body. Tuck your toes under and bring yourself up into tabletop and straight up into downward facing dog. And give your dog a little walk. So don't worry about straightening your legs at the minute. Just one leg at a time is more than enough, or keep both legs bent and lift your sit bones up. And just focus on the heel of the straight leg as you take it back and down. So feel it. See if you can recapture that sensation you had in melting heart pose and puppy pose. And see if you can get that same sensation in your shoulders where the big arm bones are sort of rolling out, your shoulders are moving away from each other. And you're still pressing the floor away, lifting your sit bones up. And you can straighten your legs if you want to, or keep your knees bent, your choice. Lift your kneecaps. One more breath here, big inhale. And exhale, drop your knees to the floor. And lift your heart up towards the ceiling, so you're coming into like a cow pose. So keep your toes tucked. Exhale, back into down dog. Inhale, knees to the floor, into your cow pose. Heart lifting. Exhale, down dog. One more. Inhale, lift your heart. Smile, feel strong, feel good. Exhale, down dog. And then bring your knees down to the floor. And bring yourself back onto your heels, or you can take a wee breather
Take your knees out wide, bring your forehead down to the floor, and maybe rock from side to side. You decide what you need to do.
Couple of breaths here, and then bring yourself up and meet me in, we'll go for high kneeling, I think might be easier. So if you want to roll up your mat and put a blanket or something in underneath your knees, please do so. Open the window if it's too warm. And we're going to do the arms of Gomukhasana. So I'm going to turn my back to you so that you can see better. So we're going to start with the right side. So we've already warmed up our shoulders a little bit at the very beginning. So maybe just give your shoulders a wee shrug first of all. And then we're going to again take the right hand, bring it up, round, and give yourself a pat on the back. So we're going to take the left hand up and use it to encourage that right elbow back. So try not to juke your head forward. You want your head just to stay in its nice usual spot. And just encourage that hand. Maybe, you'll maybe be able to get it to move a wee bit. So you might be here and maybe it'll move a wee bit further down your back. And then we're going to swing the left hand round and bend it. And maybe you'll take your bind, maybe you won't. And you're trying to lift the right elbow up towards the ceiling and drop the left elbow down to the floor. And again, don't have your head anywhere funny. Just keep your head in a nice straight line so your head and neck are in a nice line with your spine. Lovely. Inhale, lift that right elbow up. Exhale, allow the left elbow to sink down. Lift your heart up. And relax. And then gently release the fingers. And maybe give your arms a wee shimmy from side to side. And we'll do the other side. So same thing again. Bring your left arm up. Give yourself a pat in the back. And really it's important that we give ourselves pats in the back. Use your right arm this time to encourage it down a wee bit. And watch your head isn't juking forward. We want our heads to be nice and straight. And then take your right arm round. So you can stay here. If that's enough for you, stay here. But if you want to go a wee bit further, hold onto your t-shirt, your hair, if you have a ponytail, or use a scarf or a belt. I should have said that on the other side. And maybe take your bind. Left elbow reaching up towards the ceiling, right elbow heading towards the floor. And again, lift your heart. Lift your heart up. Feel happy, feel strong. Feel that joy within. Smile. I'm feeling better already. One more big inhale here. Lift up and gently release. Give your shoulders a wee rock from side to side. And then from here, just before you get too comfortable, we're going to bring ourselves forward again and bring yourself up into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana. So again, give your dog a wee walk and rotate those big arm bones so that they're going out and the inner eye of the elbows almost begins to face forward. And then take the weight onto your left foot and leg and lift your right foot up really high. And then bend, bring your right heel in and see if you can take your right heel over so that if you look under your left arm, you can see your right toes. So look at your left leg, check that the kneecap's lifted and it's staying perpendicular to the floor, that you haven't sort of tipped over to one side. And then bring your leg back, look forward and step your right foot through. So at this stage you can keep the left knee in the floor or you can keep the left knee raised, your choice. wherever you are, get your balance and bring yourself up into either a low lunge or a high lunge. So it really doesn't matter where you are, you're still going to get exactly the same stretch and the same twist if you're here or here. So please do it from wherever suits you. So reaching up into your fingertips, get your balance, stop looking round. Reaching into your fingertips, drop your shoulders down. Lift up from the base of your pelvis. Lift your heart up towards the ceiling, towards the sky. That sounds better. Reach up, lift your heart towards the sky. Inhale up, exhale, lunge a little bit more. Check your front knee. Check your right knee is heading towards the middle of your foot. Press strongly into the back foot if you have your back knee lifted. One more breath here. And then bring your hands down to your heart center. And take a big inhale and exhale. Take your left elbow to the outside of your right knee without letting your right leg come back to help you. And rotate your right shoulder back. And again, lift your heart up. So you're almost coming into a mini back bend. Lift up, one more breath here. And then release your hands, frame the front foot, press strongly into the front foot, step off the back foot, and bring yourself into Uttanasana. So knees bent as deeply as you need to, maybe hold on to your elbows. And allow the weight of your elbows to encourage your head down towards the floor. Inhale into the back body. Exhale, soften and release. So this is we breather before we do the other side. I have a creaky bit of floor here. It isn't my bones creaking. And then in your next inhale, come into your flat back. So hands to your shins or to your thighs. Again, bringing your heart center, lifting your heart center up. So wherever suits you, have your hands. Shoulders rolling back. So your legs aren't locked. Softness in your knees. And exhale. Sink a little lower. One more of those. Inhale into your flat back. So nice straight line between the neck and the spine and the head. And exhale, sink a little deeper. Make contact with the floor. And then step back and bring yourself back into downward facing dog. Excuse me. Give your dog a wee quick walk. And then tell yourself, I'm taking the weight onto my right foot and leg. And lift your left leg up. So keep pressing the floor away. You're in three-legged dog. And then bend the left knee. Take the right foot over. And look under your right arm and see if you can see your left toes. So check your right leg is still perpendicular to the floor and lift the kneecaps. I've just remembered to lift the kneecap in my right leg there now. Keep pressing the floor away. One more breath. And then bring that left knee forward, look forward and step it through. And again, right knee to the floor, keep it on the floor, or right knee raised. Get your balance and bring yourself up into high lunge, Anjali asana, crescent pose. So lifting up, lift your heart up. So again, this is tiny, it's called, as I say, its other name is crescent pose. So your back is supposed to be like a crescent shape. So lift up and sit down. Inhale up and lunge a little deeper. Watch your front knee. Make sure your front knee heads towards the middle of that foot or the baby toe side of that foot. Don't lean forward. Take your weight back a wee bit. Lifting up and sitting down. Feel good. Lift your heart up. Smile. One more breath. Exhale, hands to your heart center and begin to turn. And if you can, take that right elbow to the outside of the left thigh and turn and look over your left shoulder. Breathe and smile. One more breath here. And then release your hands. Frame the front foot. Press into the back foot. Bring yourself forward. And once more into Uttanasana. Have a wee rock from side to side. And then press strongly into all four corners of your feet. Bring yourself up. Look up. This time bring your hands together and draw down all that lovely energy and strength. And bring it to your heart center. Drop your shoulders. Lift your pubic bone up, sacrum down towards the floor. Press into all four corners of your feet. And breathe. In and out. Maybe you can feel your heart beating here. Feel that energy, that strength, that prana being sent round your body. Feel glad to be alive. Smile. Feel happy. Couple more breaths here. And then gently release your hands and turn yourself so you're facing the long edge of your mat. So you have your brick handy if you have one, or a book will do if you haven't got a brick. And we're just going to keep it we'll keep it to the right side for now. So we're going to take our feet about 4.5 feet apart, and we're going to turn all of the right foot completely and the left foot in slightly. So check that your two pointy bits of your hips are still more or less facing forward, and lift the kneecap lift the kneecaps on both legs. And then we're going to bend deeply into the right foot and leg. So again, right knee and ankle more or less in line if possible. And you'll probably notice that your body has turned towards the short edge of your mat as you do this. So we're going to try and turn it back. And you will feel the twist, not a twist, you need to engage the muscles on the inside of this right thigh to make that happen. And then from here we're going to just drift our arms up, float them up, and turn your head and look over your right fingertips. So inhale into the crown of your head, exhale, lunge a little deeper. Check your front knee. Is it heading towards the middle or the back of your foot? Torso completely perpendicular to the floor. Bring yourself back a little bit into your back hand, your left hand, because that will help to encourage you not to lean forward. So bring your left hand towards me. And then turn and look over your right fingertips. Feel strong, feel energized. Lunge a little bit deeper. We're actually aiming for almost like a parallel line with the thigh to the floor. Breathe, smile. So that Virabhadrasana 2 is a strong posture. Take your back hand back towards the back edge of your mat. One more big inhale here. And then bend your right elbow, bring your left hand onto your hip, and bring your right elbow down onto your thigh. So, and then swing your left arm forward and bring it up close to your ear. And if you want to, you can turn your head and look under your left shoulder. Keep reaching into the fingertips of the left hand. Feel the stretch from the left baby toe side of your foot the whole way up the left side of the body. And then from here, we're going to windmill that left hand down. Pivot on the toes of the back foot, so both hands now are framing the front foot, and you're on the toes of the back foot as if we were going to come into our low lunge again. And then you can have your brick, you can use your brick, or you can keep your hands on the floor. Lean over the right foot. Maybe the toes will begin to lift to the floor, maybe they won't. And this is where you can use your brick. You can bring your hands onto your brick and allow the back leg to drift up, toes down towards the floor, and bring your heart center through. So drop your shoulders away, lift your heart up. Virabhadrasana 3. Strong pose, strong on the right foot and leg. One more breath here. Try and make sure both hips are level. Doesn't matter if you're here, or keep both hands on the floor. So wherever you are, we're now going to bend the right leg and step back carefully onto the left foot. Bring yourself up, and we're back into Virabhadrasana 2. It's a wee bit complicated, but we're just back to where we started. So we went from here to here and back again. Whoops. Drop your shoulders and then bring your hands down onto your waist. Turn both feet so they're facing forward. Bend both knees deeply. Again, heading towards the middle of your feet. Bring your hands down and reach down to your ankles and just begin to straighten one leg at a time. So you're going deeply into one leg and then the other, one side and then the other. That's it. So just a wee stretch and then gently bring yourself back up again. And we'll do the other side. So we're going to turn all of the left foot and leg completely, right foot in slightly. And again, torso facing the front edge of the mat. Lunge deeply into the left knee. So we're going to the left side this time. So I hope everybody's with me here, because I'm just realising people in the studio are finding this complicated. So you actually are still facing the same long edge of your mat, but the left knee is heading towards the middle of your foot and you're lunging deeply. So watch your left knee. It should be, but don't let your left knee roll in because you'll hurt your knee. You want to have it. And I really need to work on this side. Excuse me. Getting better, because it's beginning to realise it has to do this. But my left knee always wants to turn in a little bit. So lift your heart up, and then float your arms up, turn your head and look over your left fingertips. Lovely. So try and have both shoulders level and try not to lean forward. So we always want to lean over this bent leg and make it look better. We want our torso to be nice and perpendicular to the floor. Inhale into the crown of your head. Exhale, lunge a little bit more. Front knee again, check your front knee. One more big inhale here. Exhale, soften, lift your heart up. And breathe and smile. Take your arms back in line with your shoulders. One more breath here. And then drop the right hand onto your hip, left elbow onto your left thigh. Swing your right arm forward, reach into the right fingertips and feel a big stretch right from the baby toe side of the right foot right up the right side of the body. And you can turn your head and look under your right arm if you want to. Breathe. Smile, feel strong. Keep your head in line with your spine, so just don't let your head collapse. One more breath. Windmill your right arm down. And again, move your brick if you want to use it. Bend deeply into the front leg. Pivot on the toes of the back foot. Walk your hands a wee bit forward. Begin to hop the right leg in. Keep your feet on the floor. If you keep your feet on the floor, do keep your feet on the floor. Keep your hands on the floor if you want to. Use your block. If you want to, your brick. Or you can bring your hands maybe to your heart center and lift your heart up. So lots of options in this posture. One more breath here. And then bend your front leg and step back carefully. And we're back into Virabhadrasana 2. One last breath here. Then drop both hands down onto your hips. Turn your feet so they're facing forward. Heel toe your feet in until they're a wee bit more than hip width apart. Toes about 10 to 2. Bring your hands to your heart center. Big inhale. And exhale. Drop yourself down into Malasana. Now if your heels are off the floor, use a blanket or something, or keep your hands on the floor. Sore knees, stay up. But if you can come down, sacrum go down towards the floor, heart is lifted. Feel strong, feel wonderful, feel alive. One more breath here. And then gently, see if you can lower yourself down onto the floor. Use your hands if you need to, but maybe you'll lower down onto your mat. And then turn yourself back so you're facing the short edge of your mat. And bring your knees in towards your chest. So lift your heart up. And as you do that, I mean, just the action of lifting my heart lifts my feet off the floor. So don't lean back. We don't want to lean back. So we're finding that wee sweet spot between the sit bones and the sacrum. No, yeah, I think so. And there's a wee sort of a hollow there where you feel quite secure. And you can bring your hands in behind if you want to. Maybe you'll point one toe away. Maybe you'll point another toe away. Breathe, maybe you leave go. You don't have to leave go. Bring your hands to the floor if you need to. Smile, feel strong, feel alive. Lift your heart up towards the ceiling. Lift it up to the sky. Feel strong, feel alive. One more breath here. And gently come into baby boat. And back up again. Baby boat. And back again. Baby boat, last one, I promise. Back up. Hug your knees in, feet to the floor, and just go, and allow yourself to drape over your knees.
And let your head go. One more breath here. So now make your way down onto your mat. Either straighten your legs out along the mat, or if you prefer, keep them bent, allow your knees to knock in. This is actually quite a nice way to take your relaxation for a change. And again, maybe bring your hands to your heart center. Soften your shoulders away. Take a nice long, slow, deep inhale. Brief pause at the top, and then open your mouth wide and empty it all out. So we'll do one more of those. Inhale. Fill your body right up to the top. Pause briefly, open your mouth wide and just let everything go. No more hard work, no more effort required, just letting go. Feel your softening and releasing and relaxing into all areas of your body. The crown of the head, the back of the head, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, all of the back body, the legs, the soles of the feet. And just let everything go. And just as we did at the beginning, bring your awareness to that pulse of your heart. That rhythm that is with us day in and day out. Keeping our bodies healthy, giving us energy, allowing us to be who we are. So of course, please stay here, resting in this lovely space between heaven and earth for as long as you have time to. Valuable time, letting your body assimilate all the hard work it's been doing. But other words, I'm going to say goodbye now, so if you want to, you can bring your hands together in Jali Mudra at your heart center. May all beings be free from fear and harm. May we all be happy just the way we are. May we all be at peace with whatever comes. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice today. Hope to see you again soon. Namaste.